Hi, I'm Ash Watson. I'm here at the Coolock Library makerspace, and today I'm going to be showing you our laser cutter. Let's go check it out. So what is a laser cutter and what can it do? Well, this particular Epilogue Helix laser cutter has a CO2 laser in it. CO2 lasers can cut through or engrave organic, meaning carbon-based materials like wood, paper, leather, and certain plastics, such as acrylic. They can also etch or engrave glass, giving it a frosted appearance. Laser cutting is a great fabrication technique because it's fast, it's pretty accurate, and relatively inexpensive. Now for laser cutting in particular, as opposed to engraving, you are cutting shapes or profiles out of flat sheet materials, like this birch plywood or this acrylic sheet. The cutting head follows a line or a vector and cuts straight down through the material at a right angle to the surface. Now the thickness of material you can cut depends on the type of material and the power of the laser. This is a 50-watt laser, so we could reasonably cut through up to about 9.5 millimeters or 3/8 of an inch of acrylic or wood. So let's have a look at some things that have been laser cut or engraved. Here are some intricate little snowflakes that have been cut from 1.5 millimeter birch ply. Birch ply cuts quite easily, and with the right settings, it leaves a relatively clean edge. This is a music production tool that I use, and if we look closely at the enclosure, we can see that it's made of multiple sheets of laser cut acrylic plastic. It's been designed to have these interlocking square finger joints, and that's a popular way of making laser cut boxes or enclosures. And there are some clever tricks out there to add cutouts for fasteners to make boxes that can be taken apart and put back together without requiring glue. If we look at the front, we can see they've used a two-tone material, something like this, and they've used that so that they're able to make these nice high contrast labels. There are lots of materials like this in a huge variety of color combinations, specifically for laser cutting and engraving. Here is a more decorative example. I made this little presentation box out of planed mahogany, and it's a presentation box for this gold pendant. You can see that cutting this platform by hand would have taken a lot of work. It took about 20 seconds on a laser cutter. Again, this is a finger jointed box, but this one is glued together, and it has these square mortise and tenons for the platform. You might be able to see a little bit of staining or burn marks from the laser. Some materials, some woods in particular, are more prone to this than others. But there are tricks to avoid this or clean it up afterwards. Rubbing with white vinegar works quite well in my experience, or a little rub with sandpaper on the edges. So those pieces were laser cut by the laser following a line or a vector. With laser engraving, the print head scans left to right and pulses the laser on and off to carve out an area. Let's see that in action. Here we are engraving the raster parts of the image. And now we're following the vector parts. Here's some text I raster engraved into hickory wood in this case. And here, black anodized aluminium. This is what engraving on glass turns out like. Here you can see that you can actually achieve different shades, and with the right settings you can engrave detailed images and photographs. Let's see how to prepare an image for laser cutting. The most reliable way to prepare a file for laser cutting is to make your artwork, following some rules which I'll discuss in a moment. Export or save that artwork as a PDF file, and then send this PDF file to print on the laser cutter. I am using free open source software called Inkscape for my artwork here, You can download this for free at inkscape.org. The laser cutter will either cut along thin lines in vector cutting mode, or it will engrave thicker lines or filled in or shaded shapes in raster mode. You can vector cut with the laser by setting objects and text to be unfilled and to have a line width or stroke width, as it's called in Inkscape, of less than 0.025 millimeters or 1/1000th of an inch. The thin outline will produce a vector cut. If the shape is filled or if it has lines that are thicker than this, it will raster engrave those instead. I make sure that all of my lines and shapes are good, and then I save my file as PDF. Printing to the laser cutter directly from Inkscape isn't very reliable, so I open this PDF in Acrobat Reader and print from there. Here I'm making sure I have the right settings for the material, 3mm wood in this case. I make sure autofocus is on, and I press print to send the job to the laser cutter. Before we run the laser cutter, let's talk about safety. The main risk with laser cutting and engraving is fire. The laser evaporates material, and this vapor, particulates, and the material itself can catch fire. Cutting acrylic in particular is a fire risk, and acrylic and plastic fires burn hot. Always watch the machine, never leave it unattended. A qualified member of staff must be present and aware that the machine is in use. A dry powder or halotron fire extinguisher is on hand in the event of fire. The air assist system blows air into the path of the laser to remove flammable gases and particulates. This is the compressor for the air assist system. Ensure that it is turned on before using the machine. Laser cutting vaporizes material, creating harmful smoke and particulates. This filtration system must be turned on while the laser cutter is in use. Also, wait 20 seconds or more for the chamber to clear of any smoke or vapor before opening the lid. While the cover glass will protect you from the laser, it can still be very bright, so don't look directly at the cut point while the machine is running. The red laser dot is not actually the laser that does the cutting, but like a regular laser pointer, you don't want to look into this red laser beam, so be careful with reflective materials. There are exposed moving parts in the machine, and fingers could get trapped or pinched in these areas. Fingers could also be trapped by the cover glass falling closed. Always open it fully when accessing the chamber. When setting up this cutting job, I made sure that autofocus was selected and that my settings were right for the material. After pressing print, the job is sent to the laser cutter. The job should appear in the list of jobs. I load my material onto the vector cutting table, line it up, and close the cover. Before cutting, I make sure that the air assist compressor and the air filtration unit are both turned on. I select the most recent job in the list and press go. When the job finishes, I wait for the smoke to clear before opening. Et voila! Epilogue, the makers of this machine, have loads of ideas with examples to download and modify at epiloglaser.com. For creating artwork, some softwares like CorelDRAW and Adobe Illustrator are popular with professionals. Computer-aided design software like AutoCAD or Fusion 360 are also great. But if you want free software, Inkscape is fantastic. Just remember to save your artwork as a PDF for cutting or engraving. FreeCAD is a free and open source CAD software, but takes some effort to learn. If you want to design boxes, there are a few free and open source box generators out there that do the hard work for you. Some of these are plugins for Inkscape, and some are web pages. The webpage for boxes.py has loads of options and is quick to get started with. I hope I've convinced you that a laser cutter is a really powerful tool, and with some inspiration, imagination, and creativity, you can create all sorts of things. We look forward to seeing what you come up with.